Golden Boy, I think that's a question on everyone's minds as we turn our attention to Lotus. We talked about it prior to the break. The Desk talked about it prior to the throw. What comp do 2G run on this map?
Yeah, and I think there's a couple options. Spike is a really good Yoru player, as well as the Neon. I think you'll probably want to play the Neon, though. Do they stick to the breach, though? Is I think where it gets interesting, because a lot of teams are really playing into the double smokes here.
Well,
but you look at the locks, and there's the Neon, but there's also something else. Derek is locking a chamber when El Diablo's on the team. What is going on?
We had talked so much off camera about the possibility of a chamber and how it seems to fit the CG team so well, but we weren't talking about Derek.
The question was if Ye would play chamber or not. It turns out neither is true. It's actually just a completely different player. All right. That is a bit of a surprise. So this is basically the comp that they were playing all of last stage with the Clove, Viper, double smokes look, but now subbing in for that Sentinel role, that Chamber instead. And I do think Chamber is very good on this map. There's a lot of great options on defense for where you put up the TP gate. On the attack side, you can kind of walk in and solo contest A in a way no other agent but Yoru really can. So I like the composition, but it is wild to see them sticking by this Clove when no one else really has, and instead putting Derek on that role. You look at 2G as well, and it's Comfort over there, sticking to a
1000%
double initiator comp, the breach, the fade with that Neon. And I think that's a good choice, but what they're giving up is double smokes, and that makes your attack side macro a little bit more one-dimensional. You oftentimes are going to have to just full commit behind that Neon.
Right.
So, EG, it's a similar question of how do you deal with Spike's aggression and actually win out into these retakes once you punish him.
That single controller on a 3-site map. We'll see. We'll see how they execute it. We'll see what the plan is for Evil Geniuses. Potter talked about how they cannot afford a slow start, and that will slow even for their standards. And so they've got to convert on this pistol.
Walk up in B main already.
Aggression waiting on the other side. Rises. Look, there's not a lot of help here. How much further do they push? Ye comes to life. This is the pistol that they needed. But LZ still might be able to snatch this one back.
1v2. He might be able to get this spike, but no TP. Has to cross in front of Supa.
These are ones. If Supa goes ahead of this, now Derek is showing up. Now Derek is there to help. Still a minute left in the round. A ton of time to think this through.
I think EG are fine to give away the spike. Just play this as a 2v1. Wait for the plant, and don't take any risks.
Ideally, well, given where Ye died too, they can still smoke. And you see it immediately come up on the minimap. So you imagine some of these smokes will come down as soon as you get a cue on where they are.
Bit of a rough timing on the Viper wall going up. That means info's going to be a little later on when LZ contacts in.
"30 seconds left.
EG are on the wrong side of this. They're rotating back towards C. And that's going to give LZ free passage out onto the site.
He has a Paranoia, 2 smokes to work with, but no TP, so it's a bit harder to disengage and get out once you get one. EG, name of the game is just play this completely together, trade each other out, and you should win this easily. But with how good LZ has been, Doug, it's scary.
Nothing is safe. Nothing is secure. Derek with 2 Headhunter bullets. LZ waiting for the threat. He's going to get 1, 2, isn't he? Oh, dinks onto Derek. But Derek gets the kill anyway.
I think in Supa's mind, he thought that the player was wrapping up through stairs and wanted to hold for that, but it gets very worrying when it just comes down to a 1v1. Matters not, EG win it out. And shows some good proactivity there. When you're playing with this chamber, you can almost always leave him as a solo side anchor, and instead go for more aggressive looks with your 3 fighters of Icy, Ye, and Nature. And they do it really well there.
I too thought that was really funny, Potter. Oh, great start for Icy, 2-1. Ye also getting a couple kills on the board early in that round. 2G are forcing. They have fully forced into this. They have 4 stingers.
Now you get the spike down. You see what G2 and other teams in Americas can do with it? Get your hands in the pot.
It's interesting to listen to that same interview where LZ was talking about how he gets a lot of inspiration from John QT, but from Valen as well. And this might be something straight out of their playbook, but you did not account for these two. The Bulldogs and the Outlaws just too good here.
Somehow stunned up, Derek manages to get a kill with the Outlaw backside, and it is a flawless win for Evil Geniuses.
Now, what does this do for 2G, given that they invested in this previous round, that they lost in as bad a fashion as they did?
You're in a bad half by again. You're basically running back Stingers or Sheriff's Light Armor, and you're not going to have a rifle up till round 4. 3G playing on defense, that is a really big boon to start a half.
Again, they desperately needed to come out of these gates fast. And so far, that's what we've seen for EG.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about the Clove comp, because most people aren't playing this, but EG's been really hard committed to the idea. Biggest drawbacks are you don't get line control of a Paranoia, because you're also not playing the Breach. But what you get instead is a player who can fight, and maybe Spike's not going to give us an honest eco round, because he's already gotten a kill on the Chamber.
No real threat of having his ult. But I think the threat lies in the Sheriff. Silence picking up the Outlaw. And
Nade kill, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was like TPing into it and got caught on a weird timing.
Yeah, perhaps.
Anyways, that levels out the risk just a bit. The Outlaw was recovered, but everyone's got full armor.
C's will connect. And the swings are perfectly timed. Nature getting his 2 on the board. It's just 10 HP left. Well out of the play here is Silence.
But to my point, this is a comp that plays really differently from what EG showed on the last map. They have so many tools to brawl here, with Icy and Ye being able to work in conjunction to fight up whenever they want on defense. And I think that's a really good choice, because you give 3 super strong individuals in Icy, Derek, Ye, all opportunities to be playmakers on their own.
Left.
And in that way, you do make up for some of those drawbacks of not having that Paranoia, not having a stun or any tool like that. I think you'll see the hurt more with having the Clove when we get to attack.
Yeah, I agree.
With those low smoke times, with the longer refresh. But for now, it's all about this defense, and EG are feeling good, up 3-0.
The individual agency on the side of EG was something that I think they were also kind of leaning to a little bit on Sunset, but did not have the same efficacy that we've seen so far.
Entry.
Yeah.
And there's that nade kill again. Oh, it's the metal combo. Decays him down, and it's an easy kill for Icy.
Melts you instantly.
I think my point for me, another little thing you get with the Clove. Nice for re-clear plays on A. Just as you saw there. Here's the guns now. And here's the AWP as well.
Not for Derek. Off the mark on the first shot. Meanwhile, Ye has gone exploring up A.
That's exactly how you want to start rounds for 2G. First priority, find the AWP, push him off, and, well, getting a kill on the lurk is great too. I'm not sure how that happened. Maybe just spamming into the smoke.
I believe so.
Just past the cage. They'll be happy to have it.
Given some of the threat that we saw of Ye, aggressive on this half-wall line, 2G are going to have to use some utility to re-clear some of this space. And that's utility they're going to want to have for the A hit.
Good timing on this contact re-clear B.
That's what I'm talking about. The eye they have to use here to just clear out past half wall. They won't have it for the site.
I think 2G might have heard a step be made on that swing. They'll have their Cypher player aware of it, as Icy is completely alone here.
The eye didn't tag. Silence does. Ye gets caught. And Nate will provide a little bit of cover, and they can turn their attention back towards B. They know they have that space because Ye got caught on the lurk up mid.
One enemy remaining.
This has been a beautiful round from 2G. It really has.
Spike planted.
Only Derek now stuck out in main. No AWP to work with anymore, as 2G win it out with the rifles. And so much of that round just comes back to that opening pick. Push the AWP off the line. Be super assertive in how they take space on C. Really want to see how that one happened. Here it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Straight up spam. And then the lurker ready to punish onto Ye as EG gets a little bit desperate. Down a man.
Mira. Nice!
EG do still have AWP money, so they get to keep that win condition online. Derek will play around that little sliver in the open door. Or just walk up.
Surely you wait on the other side of the smoke. You don't dry peek this if you're 2G, right? Oh. They were ahead of it. And so the early dip out from Derek finds nothing.
But losing that space in the front of A means this TP gate's a little less strong.
Not finding its mark yet again. Pushed off the op line, as you mentioned in the previous round.
So well dealt with from 2G. EG have to play a retake with the op in hand. Thankfully, they have to raise rocket on Icy.
Waiting for the right time to light the fuse.
Look at Spike, he's so far forward. A paranoia, a stun, all ready to go for him.
But he's been found. The Haunt tagged him. Yeah, he's able to tuck behind the box, but Supa gets caught. Silence on the trade, and now the rocket used. Not going to find any. Spike on the swing. EG pushing him back. What can Gobera do in a 1v3 here? Has some utility, but you know they're going to want to flush him out. Time is pretty short here, but that might have been the last bit of bite. Yeah, has to force out into the swing. On the other side of the smoke, the defuse comes through. EG gets a 4.
2G, a great start to the round and getting into that A side early. But the losing fight towards breakable door is where it all goes wrong. Drop a couple players there, and then that allows EG to actually have a pinch when they go for the retake. I think LZ was trying to TP forward and recommit into that space. Doesn't quite work out for him.
Oh my god, bro. I saw some shit. I thought it was Neon.
Seeing demons in the walls? They're traumatized after map 1, Doug.
I would be too.
Oh, this is fast towards A main.
Here the satchel's popped. Sees nade.
My ult is ready.
Meanwhile, the tour de force used.
Interesting, they show super heavy, which makes 2G think that the chamber is set towards C, but instead they just leave him embedded and walk back.
And note, they have 2 ops here in this setup. Derek used his ult. It was Nature who had the op at the beginning. Now they've given it to Icy. So they have the op on the A line, and they have the op mid as well.
Yeah, these are really good angles to hold. 2G are going to head back that way. If they want to re-clear A, they have to push Derek off the line.
They've been really successful at that. He is in the range of his tether.
But it's only LZ here. They're prioling B first instead. LZ baits a shot, but Derek sticks around, holds his nerve.
They don't realize there's another op on play, I'd imagine. Either way, the due diligence on the side of 2G will find safety. Look at the aggro space from LZ. He's all the way up in their spawn.
Spike planted.
He's guessing the wrong way. The rest of the retake is coming in from the C side of the map. Yay, gets the best of Gobera. Derek finds some joy, finally. And just like that, LZ's left on the outside looking in.
The round that you've been waiting for from Ye. A great turnaround from him to start map 2 compared to what was honestly a pretty big underperformance to start stage 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Really nice shots there. And EG showing great protocols on their retake. And calling a timeout up 5-1. Okay, that makes more sense. 2G instead the ones to do it.
Controlled by production. I do think, I mean, that for if you are 2G here, there are a couple things that seem to be going your way. These rounds, I don't know that the score is necessarily indicative of how this half has gone so far.
No, there have definitely been some close rounds. It's been coming down to these retakes in the last couple. So 2G will get their coach in the conversation and try and figure this one out. I've liked how they've opened these rounds. I think the early set pieces with the breach and fade util to get Spike on a line either in A or C and push the op back has been good. Where it's been falling apart, I think has been getting kind of caught off guard by some of these rewalks. You think about EG pushing back into B in the mid round. You think about them putting their op forward on A and then having much heavier presence into the C site. So I still want to see them starting the rounds the same way, but just slowing down a little bit, giving more time for Spike, for Silence to work on some of these lurks.
Talked about the op in the previous round. Still in the hands of Derek. 6-2 so far on the chamber. And it's not a great buy for 2G, is it?
No, this is their ego, so they can afford to just step up the pace and see what happens.
Yeah.
Spike is one off his ultimate. He gets a kill, and he becomes a problem for Evil Geniuses.
Icy's alone here.
But he's behind the door. We'll have a bit of safety, bit of time to get away.
Just tap the door right at the very beginning.
He's threatening like the chamber is here, as we've seen in previous rounds.
Oh, he spotted one. You imagine some of the rotations will start to come through. Look at how much space Derek is taking on C. Able to close this off a little bit more. The dink through the box, but Spike dashes his way into the round, and all of a sudden, there's the trouble that you mentioned, Mimi. Spike pops the ult, gets a second kill.
Icy lit the fuse, and I don't know if they can stop this bomb now. The ult popped for Spike. A 4v2 with an operator to try and retake. Have the money to go for it.
I think an op is such a big part of their win condition.
Supa could buy it over regardless.
Yeah.
So if they get an early pick, they can definitely make an attempt. But Tucci's just not giving anything.
No, it seems like they're going to leave Supa to try to get one, maybe, but what a response from 2G.
Yeah, up 5-1, it's not the end of the world to concede a round like this, but given the context of the bye, that is tough. I think that re-swing from Icy going to be haunting him a little bit at the end of this round. Thought he had a chance to convert off the dink on the Spike, but instead dies, and that starts the snowball of this ultimate getting the second pick.
And you set it up beautifully. He gets one kill, and he's a problem. And that's exactly what he was.
So something cooking here for 2Game. Where do they want to go now? That was just their eco round. They showed something really fast. Do they want to keep that pace up or slow things down again? See the stat there. Spike, the youngest player in VCT Americas, turned 18, what, less than a month ago? Or just over a month now.
Cover going.
It's the same idea from EG.
They're really threatening that there's a chamber here ready to post. That's why he's opening the door every round.
And Derek is going to get all this free space mound again, just like we saw in the previous round. Remember how Icy was punished here.
Rotates are coming in quicker this time. Icy will have help.
Such a good spot. Oh, the dog gives his position away, and he swings ahead of it. Forced into the fight. The Nightfall will buy some space.
2G paused for a second. They're stalled out, but they have a lurk front B. Only the chamber trip is holding that space. So the opportunity to pivot into the B site open as EG posture back into tree.
I think Supa's aware of that, and that's why you see him towards B heaven as well.
Face your fear!
They're faking A, finishing B.
Nightfall will tech too. There's the break of the door.
EG bites on it.
Yeah, they did. Supa in particular, all rotating back towards A.
30 seconds left.
I think the linchpin of the round is Derek. He's going to open the door, have a fight here.
Misses, and then TP's away. Lives to fight another day.
Second chance, maybe.
Ill-advised.
Cage triggered.
This retake becomes more difficult now. Ye has the ult, so he can send it.
Don't really have any utility to set him up, though.
Maybe a haunt in a couple seconds.
If it even comes up in time.
How do they break this crossfire, Doug?
They don't. The ult will help. It'll create a little bit of space. Supa's there on the trade.
One enemy remaining.
Just the tap.
Last
Ye
player
gets
standing.
enough, but it's just not enough to convert the round.
Great trading from 2G at the end there. Make a high investment play to rip the fade ult on the fake into A right at the end. But they get rewarded for it, find a completely open B site. And they've been showing some really nice protocols into the post fight. EG has been giving 2G a good amount of respect with this Neon, playing back, playing into a lot of these set retakes. But 2G take it to him that round. Show some fantastic team play. Despite that though, EG, they do still have money to work with. They still have an off, they still have the win conditions they're thinking about. And after setting up the last couple rounds, they return the chamber to A.
But it looks the same. It's the same tap of the door.
This time he walks out, last time he tucked in.
Has a line. There is a member of 2G here. It's behind a half wall. This is such a tough spot to play.
Derek just walks away, doesn't want to risk it.
There's some value out of the op. There's some value out of the chamber. Meanwhile, an acceleration towards Z. Ye tries to play ahead of it. Supa tries to swing out too, and the advantage that they have is instantly given away.
They knew the breach util was coming. They wanted to fight ahead of it, but they just die for their troubles. 3 players drop. Again, it's the op alongside Icy to try and retake. But I don't see how they can win this.
Spike planted.
And listen, that financial
Last player standing.
that financial backbone that they had is now starting to wear real thin. Now we've got to start talking about we can't really afford the op anymore.
Yeah, it's open season on the Chamber. Derek is not going to get to keep this one for free. Maybe he still will. Has a lot of time to try and stay alive with those shots. They're lovely.
Still has 6 bullets of the Headhunter. Crosses through the seas. Does get tagged by the eye.
Oh, the stun.
One enemy remaining.
That's 4. And Barrett cleans it up.
Maybe the 4 least impactful frags in Valorant history. Doesn't get to keep his off, and TG will have the money to buy back in regardless. It did look nice. Just like you throw those ones in at the end of the montage, and like you make them really quick so they don't notice the round's already lost. And then it looks super impressive. Yeah, EG are broke. 2G, 3 rounds in a row won. And the change of pace has been working. They have picked it up, showing some faster hits in the first 2 rounds they win, and then in this one, slowing things down a little bit. And that engagement towards C was just really rough for EG.
Yeah, it was.
They realized that they kind of have an option. If you play on site, you're getting bullied by Breach Util and a Neon running in. If you play retake, 2G is fighting up, they have a Paranoia, they have all these tools to stay alive in the post plant. So they think, hey, we're going to get inside the Cloudburst, we're going to fight ahead of it instead, and try and catch these players off guard. But the fights just don't go their way, and it's another round loss on the trot. And Potter has to get involved yet again.
And again, that's so tough given that Derek was able to get an opening kill on the opposite side of the map.
Yes.
They were able to find value out of the operator. Just to have it instantly snatched away is so tough. And so as you mentioned, Potter joins the conversation.
You talk about the drawbacks of this comp too. EG doesn't have any flashes, they don't even have an Omen Paranoia because they're playing Clove. So it's way harder to set up those kind of active re-clear plays.
Yeah.
Because the only util they have for it is a Fate Haunter or maybe a Prowler at best.
Yeah.
They'll rummage together some type of buy, decide to use the Viper Pit on C. But all 4 on the other side of the map is 2G. They're excelling B quickly.
Seems to buy a little bit of time. Do they know that Derek is there? He has to TP away. Had a great angle there for him, but now forced to sit back on the other side of the Viper wall. Brute forcing his way past all of the utility, straight into Nature's lap. What a beautiful rollout from 2G.
Planted.
Blistering pace from the attack.
Another brutal retake. Their Fade's dead. They have no tools to get back in. But they have to make some kind of stand here. Ye's dead. He was the one who could take a risk.
They're going to swing out onto Icy there. He gets pushed back. Nothing but a sheriff to speak of there. Derek pushing forward. Soup on the other side. 5 HP.
2v1.
That other kill on the other side. Price has no idea! Icy arrives at just the right time! How did they convert that round?
Yeah, he just barely has it too. Couple seconds to spare. And they just take it easy. EG have been going for quicker retake looks in some of these rounds. Here, they just completely slow it down, and it doesn't feel like it should have worked. Everyone is alone fighting on 1v1s from individual angles.
Or 2v1s in Icy's case.
Yeah, and they come out on top of it. Manage to group up on the site together, trade out these kills, and just barely make it happen. That's a round where not a whole ton changed macro to favor EG, but the individuals bail them out of it. And now a chance to regain control and build upon this half that is already very strong for defense.
Haunt out Derek with the ult, not connecting.
Despite Derek having some success with these opening picks on the off, I cannot remember a round where they've actually managed to kill Spike early.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I can't either.
For the most part, it has been Spike winning the battle of space early when we talk about the Chamber versus Neon.
Somehow they still find themselves up 2 though.
Another solo A anchor look from Evil Geniuses. This time it's Ye.
All their friends close by. You see Icy starting to rotate over. Nature as well. Tap the door and the dash out, so 2G have done well to get tree space. And they've left one behind. Icy's gonna pop his one, ult through. Oh, they passed right by each other. He's gonna try to land one right beneath him, but he can't. Gobert's there on the trade.
Still EG ahead in this one. A 4v3, Chamber's gonna be very late on the rotate. But look at Spike, he is just walking around the map, working through spawn.
I mean, they've let him off the leash, and for good reason. Rolling Thunder will tag 1-1, maybe. A couple more kills traded. Spike, again, in a really nice spot.
Marked one.
And Nightfall by a little bit of time. Derek's position is still concealed. Now they know where he is. He's got to find value with the ult, and he does. One kill found. Nature against Spike. As time ticks away, Nature has so much to do, and Spike's just playing with them. Beautifully done.
The rookie player, again, stepping up in these late rounds. He won a clutch on map 1, does it here on map 2 as well. And what a big round that is for 2G. Keeps their chances of making this a 6-6 half alive. And again, it just really nicely played on how they're setting up these post ones. Look at how mobile Spike was. And he's fighting into heaven. He's running all the way around. Still in the right place as there's a big brawl here, Doug.
Last round of the half. No stone left unturned. Spike with the ult. Gobert with the utility. It's a bloodbath on A. And it's 2G who seem to be walking away unscathed. Again, Spike, full steam ahead. What a round from 2G. Flawless to close out the half.
Switching sides.
The Neon player for 2G takes pace over a game yet again. That half started really rough. They forced spot, lost that round. We're down something like 4-1 at the beginning. But some heroics from Spike, some well-called rounds, and 2G bring things even at the half.
Team like EG were in a position to run away with it. The timeout caused so many problems. We actually have Liz, who's standing by on the stage behind me for an interview with a very special guest. Liz, take it away.
Thank you so much, Doug. And it is a very special guest. I have Superman's fiance, Anna, here with us. And Superman has no idea. He's currently oh, now he does. Hey! I just talked to you. You have been with Supa for 10 years. And you were telling me, you can cheer for 10 years. That's an excellent milestone. I mean, and you were telling me you've seen him, in his older days when he was trying to, come up, and now he's here. What has that transition been like, watching him, early mornings, like you were saying, and now he's here on the stage at VCT Americas?
It's been inspiring because I've watched him through Crossfire and then through Valorant, seen him through FaZe, Dignitas, even Team Vietnam.
Yeah. Something I also wanted to ask you is I talked about a little bit before. At the end of stage 1, we saw a rather emotional Supa. With Supa, we've known to be very stoic, a very kind of, grounded person, but that was such a close loss to G2. We saw him very emotional. What was that like, and how as a partner do you support him in those moments?
It was a close game, and it was very emotional, especially for our team because they were so close. But as a spouse, I was just there as a emotional support through thick and thin, supporting them through the way.
And one thing I always ask is the partners who are up here, eventually when Supa watches us back, would you like to leave a message for him?
You got this. Let's go to Paris. Let's go, EG.
We love it. Thank you so much, Anna. And Doug and Mimi, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, it turns out she's not the only one who's been kind of looking at Supa for quite a while. I remember, Doug, talking to Potter like 2023 after that year when she was trying to build her team for the next one and was thinking, hey, I really want Supa. She has had a lot of respect for this player since he was back on Rise. Finally gets him on one of her rosters, and he has been an absolute boon for EG.
Really has, and he's one of the players that I look towards here in a position such as this where you lose map 1 when you're tied at half on map 2 against a team that you probably should be beating. Who's going to be the one to step up? Who's going to turn the tides for EG?
You recall last map, it was a 6-6 half, and EG only won 1 round in the second. Spike in the close corner. Chance to deal a death blow, but he's cleared.
Beautifully done by Icy. How often does that box go unchecked? Very well done.
Super thorough stuff. And EG have lurks to reinforce. They literally don't even have the spike at this point, despite taking C. They'll reset the rounds a bit. Work their way back with a 5-on-3 advantage.
That on-the-call fly there of seeing what utility is C, what personnel is present on the side, and then you can flip the other way, or if obviously it was softer on C, they can go that way as well. So this is a really nice pistol call by nature here.
When I think about EG macro on this map, it's all about calling back into these lurks. And I think that's even more true now that they're playing Derek on the chamber. Let him walk around on B. Let Superman walk into A. You have so many different guys that are so strong in those lurking positions that absolutely help your macro. Done it well this round, but 2G still have a chance. It's a 3v5. They've got a stun. They've got a paranoia. There's a world.
It's a slim chance, but a chance nonetheless. You were talking about Derek on the late lurk.
Maybe less of a chance now.
Yeah.
One enemy
Beautifully
remaining.
timed. An excellent pistol. And Potter talked about it in the halftime break, or in the
After map 1.
interview. Thank you. This is their comfort map. This is
Absolutely.
where you expect them to look a lot more loose, and we didn't necessarily see that in the first half, but already seeing that here.
Yeah, we were building all this up in the first map about Super being the catalyst, this huge turnaround from Ye and Icy. That started with their Lotus, which was so strong. They were beating the best teams in Americas on this year map.
One enemy remaining.
And this is a nice start for them. Second pistol they've picked up in the map. This time,
Deep exhale out of Icy there.
yeah. Deep breath.
An Outlaw and a Guardian. 3 Guardians. Heavy investment into this from EG.
2G feign like it's a heavier walk up on B, but it's just those 2 players. Stun, Neon ready to swing. Yay, this could get a little dicey.
Ah, that's bait. Oh, it's bait. And it's a kill found. A paranoia, a stun, and the dash. Once again, that trio finding value.
But they trade out, have a lurk on A to call back into, and EG managed to avoid the danger for now.
I mean, Gobert is real close behind Derek here. That smoke will provide a little bit of cover from Ye. Nicely done. But all the rotations are at A. Gobert, the one exception. And so this is not a free site. This is not a safe site. There is a welcome committee here. And they may not have the guns for it, but they do have the personnel.
I think you have to call back if you're EG.
Yes.
No way to get into this site. They'll pivot into B. But look what's available. A stun just coming off cooldown for Gobert. A flash as well.
And a Guardian in hand. Well done from Derek to
30
take some of this
seconds
threat away. Remove some of the bite from the bark.
No smokes to block the spike. The Guardian dropped into another player's hands. And those chances seem to dwindle.
It seems like they've called off the retake attempt. And so what, EG will carry over, at least for now, an Outlaw, a Guardian, perhaps a second one if they can scoop it up, and they might. It's got 4 HP.
Camera taken out.
Just no time for silence.
No, I do think worth noting here, Icy will have his ult into the next round, but for as heavy of an investment as it was for EG to carry over a Guardian and a Stinger, that doesn't feel great.
I think that what you mentioned about the ult being available, though, does make up for it a bit. That can completely change, because, you know, if you're execing onto C with the raised rocket,
Right.
having a Stinger kind of becomes a thing you're happy about once you actually get into that post plant. We'll see if it's something as simple as that they want to go for. You can pop B, you can pop C. We have this ult online. But the biggest threat to them has to be Spike. A stun for him ready to go.
Early smoke. And the dash out on the other side. They try to enable him, but only 1 kill found.
And that's a gun that EG can pick up.
Cover going out.
Meanwhile, LZ has a lot of presence on the other side.
Barely makes it out with the TP.
Well, that's one way to clear a smoke.
Now what happens when your initiator player dies with a comp like this?
It's a Human dart.
They still have the rocket for Icy.
Question here as time goes on, how much more willing are they going to be to invest that?
The door never got broken. So despite being back-to-back, Gobera and Supa, not a big threat to each other yet.
Look at how much respect LZ's showing on A as well. Fully vacating the space, going all the way back into his spawn.
30 seconds
They don't want to leave anyone in the open to die to that rocket. But EG aren't using it. 2G, oh no, now they are. Okay, send it in, take back sight, and push 2G away.
Still have a satchel. They're not going to use it. Rocket goes off, will buy space and will buy time. Derek commits to getting a spike down. Now we'll see what 2G can do on this attempted retake, given that they have the numbers advantage, given that they have weapons to fight back into this. That is certainly going to help the situation. A great shot out from Prize to start things off. And all of a sudden, the hold from EG gets a little bit weaker. The grip slips just a bit. Paranoia out. Fault line on the other side. And yes, Derek TP's away after getting his one, but all of a sudden, left on an island, isolated, flash in his face. The triple swing is too much as 2G get the round.
I really like the way 2G have played around Gobera's utility on both maps now. I think they do a great job of just playing the fundamentals of that agent. Slow things down a little bit, you wait for the flash to come online, you have one player jumping, you're double swinging behind it. They do well to follow up every piece of utility, even in late rounds like that where Spike is dead. And those details to me, in a lot of ways, is what was missing from 2G. They never felt like a complete team when we were watching them in kickoff, watching them in stage 1. It felt like a piece was missing, and there very clearly was with Spike. But him coming back into the roster, it's not just about how good he is individually, but it's about how cohesive the team looks, how well everyone's playing off each other.
Oh,
the throw to force? Okay.
What a shot out from Derek.
Bring them down.
With a flash in his face. Look at all these trips out onto C2. And so maybe Icy can satchel his way through and clear a couple of those along the way. But a freeze from EG. Wonder if they're trying to just give Derek a little bit more space to maybe get another pick.
So just waiting for that haunt to come online, have it available now. Leave the fade towards C. Possibly trying to sell a fake in this direction as they explore elsewhere on the map.
And they bite, just like that. As soon as the eye goes through, you see the turn from Gobera.
But he doesn't full rotate. Sticks to holding, containing towards B, leaving LZ on an island.
Paranoia will connect. LZ has to get away. Somehow dodges the nade, dodges the spit, stays alive. But
Sticks around.
30 seconds left.
Perhaps a bit more than he bargained for. LZ's done, and now it's Gobera who's going to arrive. Held onto the fault line on the fake. We'll have that now.
But it's a pivot all the way back into B. Derek was waiting here, containing with the tour de force.
Again, you see some of the comfort. You see how loose EG are, and they're calling on the attacking side in this situation too. They pivot so quickly.
2G 2v5. No hope of winning this retake. They'll fall back instead, try and hold on to these guns. EG themselves comfy to go for a little hunt.
My camera is destroyed. Cage triggered.
And get that one across the board. And this is just that comfort for EG that Potter was talking about, that you've been alluding back to. They do such a great job on this map of going through their checklist. Okay, figure out where the neon is early. Then we're getting our lurk up on B. We're getting our lurk up on A. We're slowing things down. They're very intentional about what space they're taking off of every refresh of that fade util.
One enemy remaining.
And thus far, Nature has been out-calling LZ on this attack half. Unfortunately, the loss of that gun round means 2G reset onto an eco of their own. Only shares to speak of, EG a chance to pull into 10.
And Derek quietly at 21 and 10, by the way. Great performance out of him.
Yeah. Lock in Ye's chamber, you better put up 20 kills.
Yeah. LZ again in a position to play this really aggressive angle as he has a couple of times, and this time Evil Genius is ready for it. You've seen some of the adaptations on the side of EG two here, just in the opening moments of this round. Expecting LZ on that cheeky little angle that he was in A main, and then also as soon as the tap of the orb happens, Ye was expecting a swing, much like we'd seen in previous rounds. EG
Every
adapting
step.
on the fly, yeah.
Just working through their checklist. 2G are going to go for a gamble stack on C. That's wrong. And so, EG, we don't know quite yet, but have a pretty easy path to winning this round out. And playing a comp like this forces a very different style. And I want to, just for a second, pull wider here. Because we're looking at a meta where a lot of teams are really heavily looking at double controller as the future. And when I think about the teams in Americas, I think that EG is one of the teams that is best suited to thrive in that kind of environment. It's exactly the way they like to play. Slow things down, work your lurks, get Superman on that Viper that he's so good at. And beyond just their strength there, they can also have players like Derek or Ye locking in the chamber. They can look into double senties. EG as a team, to me, feels primed to look at this open meta and be able to go so many different directions with players being strong on a myriad of roles.
To have the depth to play a Derek on Chamber and a Clove on Ye, I think it's just a perfect testament to what you were saying.
Yeah, but you flip to 2G and you think, okay, you don't feel like there's a huge amount of depth in what comps they can do.
Yeah.
Right? You're looking more at, hey, you have a Star Duelist player who doesn't really play Raze. He's a solid jet, but he's a great Neon in your room.
Right.
And it feels like you have to almost heavily index into just making him feel comfortable.
Yep.
You're locked into him succeeding on the Neon, which is a great thing, but it also can be kind of a limitation. And
Absolutely.
a lot of this season for 2G, I think, has to be figuring out if they have something extra, or if in the second half of 2025 they can make it work locking Breach Neon comps.
Yeah, how deep is that bag? How many tricks are in there? I think it's something that has certainly lacked on Lotus, especially when compared to how it looked on Sunset, in large part due to Derek being 24 and 10, sure. But I do feel like there's not nearly the same amount of bite.
Yeah, looking at this timeout now for 2G, biggest thing I'm looking at is for them to show more of these mid-round re-clear plays. I think EG is getting away with having an embed in B and in A, like literally every round.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them on the second refresh of this Breach Fade util, having ideas to flush the front B lurk, to flush the front A lurk. If they're getting kills onto Derek or Supa, that makes Nature's job as a caller so much harder at the macro level.
We'll see if they can do just that. Prize does have his ult this round. But it doesn't look very different, to be honest.
And I'm fine with them sorting the same way. I think the crux of these rounds is coming like a minute in with that second layer of util.
What is this?
This one might be decided earlier.
LZ, you sneaky devil. What can he get away with here? Gets his one, TP's away. I mean,
Does he live though? Stuck in this corner, second cage. Means he gets to escape.
that regen armor too will help. Meanwhile, a dog confirming some of that mid lurk that you were talking about previously.
Toxin screen down.
Supa's forcing two players to keep their full attention on him. The presence a lurk player like him demands.
And this goes back again to what you were just saying, because now Nature's calling job is significantly harder.
Yeah, dissuade him a little bit. They kept Spike posted on A, so there's no lurk to call back into there. And EG, with Nature dead and not great options to re-clear, they're going to feign C with Icy alone and look to walk into the A space.
Clear one trip, clear a cam two, and draw a Paranoia out. I mean, early, but those are wins.
It pulled rotates.
30
How long
seconds
does
left.
2G really believe this for?
Yeah,
Not long. They're rotating back already.
Not enough noise here. Big kill out from IC. And what now? Tap of the door to make it look like they're going B, but they're not biting on it. 2G are all eyes set towards A. Spike not winning an early duel. How rare has that been? Derek and Ye holding the site down, holding the round down. And Silence left out.
Has to be a mistake there from 2G. They have a full belt of breach utility. They have a stun ready to go. They have all these tools to try and either excel quickly if that's the idea they want to go for and play that flood retake, or to just hang back and play a set retake with the team. They do neither. Instead, the two players just dribble into the site and die with the most important tools to win that round. And to me, that honestly feels like it might be Lotus slipping away. EG's going to be up 11-7. The money's going to be rough going into this next round. And 2G's chances on this map feel like they rely on a crazy Spike Neon ult round.
Even then, you're only really good for one of those. I think the other thing worth mentioning is that was off of an advantage for them. Remember, the idea that LZ had on tucking in the smoke, getting a skill, and then TPing away, just like that. To have an advantage like that and then to see that slip out is tough. There's the trickle you were mentioning.
Yeah, I didn't notice they even used the fade ult there. That is a big tool to lose. Derek 26-10 to this point. Impact last round, impact all game on the chamber. It's a fight for A. Here comes that ult, Doug.
Off the stun, LZ there, and Spike done already. No ult to speak of in this round. Ye's gonna pop the ult. Gonna look for a little bit more. Following the blood trail of the dog and just waltzing right into his death once more.
They lose their star Neon, but trade out favorably. 2G up 4v2 in a round they weren't favored in.
After losing their duelist too, we thought that was their win condition.
Toxin screen down.
But Super Nature forced to freeze. Forced to slow things down. And look for any advantage they can find. There are two on the other side. Tries to flush his lane to one. Prize is there with two on the Stinger. And 2G get to 8.
EG looked really prepared for that to be a heavy A fight with the Neon, with the ult coming in. They punish him, but where it goes a little wrong is Ye with that res. Trying to swing in. And it's fine that he dies. Like, he has the right to die when he's playing Clove. You can run in, you can do whatever. But dropping Icy there is such a big swing in from the Omen on site. And that keeps 2G in this map, keeps the hope of a 2-0 alive.
Op in the hands of Derek here on the attack side. Immediately has to TP away. Meanwhile, despite top the ult, no, he wants to take the fight with the Phantom!
Spike Dean! He is here, he has won this opener. And now what do EG do? A 3v5 barely 10 seconds into the round.
2G not going quietly here on Lotus. And all of a sudden, Mimi, these ults are going to start stacking for the defensive side. Gobert's one ult off of his. Spike still has his ult.
And for clarity, in that last round where we're talking about Spike dying with ult, he did not rip it. He hadn't used it yet, so he still has that tool available. They're going to have a Rolling Thunder in this next round. And it's all looking good for 2G as long as they can close out this 5v3.
Much easier said than done. Icy has snuck closer and closer. Silence wasn't very healthy. Spike isn't either. They're really investing into this. EG think they have a shot at winning this round.
Yay.
He's up really far. This fight is everything, and again, Ye struggles on these fights.
He's had better moments this map, but doesn't deliver when he was needed. Now it's Icy and Nature to win this out. And look how passive 2G's playing. Paranoia, stun, all of this ready to go to win a retake.
And remember, Nature invested the Nightfall just a couple of moments ago. Still playing on the other side of the wall, now stunned up. And that's a round for 2G.
Really nicely played. Lean into their win condition at the end. Don't overextend. Punish the lurks and win out. What a gift Spike has been for this team. It is crazy that this guy is willing to run into two players, one of whom was not stunned, Supa's whole job was to kill the Neon who runs down his chamber. Unfortunately, Spike is just a psycho, and he wins that fight. Doubles up, and things start to flip, and a bit more grim for EG.
This is post-nerf, too.
Yes.
I mean, do you imagine?
One slide, no longer perfectly accurate.
Unreal.
He doesn't really care.
You wouldn't believe it. LZ taking a little high ground at the beginning of the round. Deep smoke. And an eye.
Bring them down.
Pushing him back on multiple fronts.
Here's the ult snowball you mentioned. Neon ult, breach ult. That's ready to go for a late retake.
There's LZ on the high ground. There's LZ, good for 2.
He gets 2. Oh, that should have been illegal. Needed a trade there from EG, but instead, it's a second round in a row where 2G are up 5v3 cleanly.
Without investing the ults.
Yes.
That's the icing on the cake, Mimi.
And now this is exactly the position they want to play. Up in numbers, set up passively, hold on to your initiator utility, and just win a retake.
This formula is getting too easy for 2G. And I don't remember if EG have another timeout to speak of. They've invested the Rolling Thunder here.
Yeah, he's gotten one though. Buys himself some safety in breakable door.
Spike was planted instantly. Those 2 kills come through for 2G. Yay, in a 1v4. There's no shot.
Nicely done. I respect using the ult there. Confirm the round. Don't let anything get too risky. Even if there is that argument to save it, have it for a later day. I don't think EG have a timeout.
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering, trying to rack my head at. Remember if they've burned both.
Had to use one early. So they'll just go straight back into this one. Those kills from LZ were just gross.
And remember, he TP'd up there prior to the barriers going down.
Yeah, didn't hear it. You just got to be ready. And they are excited about it.
Remember, an Ascension team that won 1 series in Stage 1.
Literally 3 maps to this point. Now they've got a 4th, looking for their 5th.
Threatening a team that was 2 rounds away from Toronto.
EG open towards B, put pressure there. But they don't have any lurks set up as we've seen in previous rounds. No presence on A, just a passive contain from their chamber on C. Now they'll fully establish inbound.
They commit to this, they're sitting on these 2 trips. The cam has been in the same place.
But Silence has a passive setup. He's willing to fall back, play retake. The retakes that 2G have been so successful with in this half.
I see one away from the ult. Prize takes a little bit of damage, but trades back a little bit of his own.
He gets out there. That's big.
Meanwhile, this fight on the other side of the map is big. LZ, I believe he landed the paranoia, still TP's away.
They're not biting on this. 2G is sticking to the C site. They're not buying this fake. Now rotate's coming, but LZ, he doesn't need help!
How does he get away with 2 again? Another 5v3. Another massive advantage for 2G. Oh, and it's gone from bad to worse. Evil Genius is crumbling.
I have the spike.
The comfort is all gone, Mimi.
10 seconds left.
I don't know how they keep getting away with it, but 2G have made it look effortless these last couple of rounds. We're tied.
11-11. 2G, 4 rounds won in a row. And back-to-back heroics from LZ. Just holding it down and winning another late rounds retake. EG feel this game slipping. Potter calls on her last time out to talk to this team again.
Last on either side of the stage, too.
And EG, they started this half very strong. They were getting massive success in getting embeds from Derek and Supa and playing these really slow mid-rounds without giving picks. In most rounds, it was going till like 40 seconds on the clock before anyone had dropped from either team. Now, 2G have been picking up the pace. They've been punishing people earlier. They've been playing more off angles, realizing that EG doesn't actually have a lot of utility to re-clear. All they have is 2 Fade Dogs and a Haunt to take space. So if you are asserting yourself, playing up, it makes it so much harder for those EG lurkers to get embedded. And that's been the win condition in this little comeback for 2G. The question is, does Potter have the change? What do they switch up to arrest this one? How do they stay in control on their comfort map?
Who's here?
Icy has his ult.
Yes, this should do.
Supa has his ult.
Oh, this.
They have a couple of tools here to invest. LZ again. Up in this aggro line.
You see it again, that smoke shuts down the chamber on A.
Look at that trip.
They have a double hold set up on B to banish Supa from walking up in that area.
That's a second dog invested to clear out B. First one was almost at the beginning of the round. If they go into this, there are 2 trips. Remember the higher one. If IC decides to pop the satchels, if he decides to pop the ult, there's a good chance he slams right into that thing. And it certainly has all the makings of it. Spike having to take a step back. Manages to get across somehow. Slips the net. Ye gets his 2 on the round. EG in firm control.
There they are. The men who made it happen for EG on their run last stage. Ye and Icy eviscerate 2G's hold on C.
And they do so with 2G expecting it.
Yes.
They were set up for that hit.
And now a backstab coming. Derek on the way.
One enemy remaining.
And he ends the round 12-11. They were sliding for a while, but EG wrestle back control and secure map point.
Take a look at it one more time. That rollout was exactly what they needed. Again, it was in the face of a defensive setup that was intentionally designed to stop that hit. But somehow, EG find a way.
And you see how EG is adjusted. They're not sending these lurkers early. Instead, Derek waits till there's an entire site hit to walk up.
Attack side up again.
Round 24. Overtime or map 3.
Derek, 1 off of 30. Make that 30.
A huge opener. The smoke's gone. They don't have a Viper to back this up.
One thing we've been talking about a little bit here has been Spike's ult. Still sitting on it. Look at how far back they're playing. Look at the respect.
Does 2G get desperate? Does anyone walk up and lose their life early? Doesn't look it for now. Instead, EG group back towards C.
Where Spike is.
A high-low setup.
The breach is on the other side. There is no stun to help him out. These 2 have to figure it out on their own. Footsteps have been made. They realize what's on the other side. Derek drops. Silence has to take a step back. While Icy satchels into their faces. The site is theirs. And the map presumably is too. Heroics from Gobert and Prize notwithstanding, and that's certainly going to help. As the pick goes up, utility source through 4 bullets left. And that's it, just like that. EG stay alive. We're going to map 3.
It got so close for Evil Geniuses. But they figure it out just in the nick of time. A Potter timeout, 2 rounds won. And they stay in the series.